My name is Chillmonger and I watched episode 8. So I watched all the episodes of Star Wars on Disney Plus. I even saw Rogue One in between my viewing of 3 and 4. That's the order I saw them. And I've come to the conclusion that 7 out of 8 ain't bad. 8 out of 9 actually, if we include Rogue One. And I didn't ever see Solo. I'm not gonna see Solo. It's not canon. I don't. If I want to know what Harrison Ford, what Han Solo looked like when he was younger, I'll watch 1977 Harrison Ford. I'm good. Unwanted movie. Nothing to do with me not liking episode 8. It's just don't need to see it. It's not in canon over here where it matters most. But I saw episode 8 now. They did a number on Luke. They killed interest in what was next. No cliffhanger for what was next, except for a kid who used the Force to pick up a broom. From what I see in the trailers, that kid is not in the movie. We're just kind of left there. I've seen in interviews Rian Johnson say that he was allowed to write whatever he wanted to, given free reign to create whatever story he wanted to, and he said it like a badge of honor. And I see it as part 2 of a 3-part story, ignored part 1's story script and beats that it was supposed to hit. Same with part 3. They made a trilogy for the sake of making 3 movies that are gonna bring in $1 billion. That's why they made that trilogy. They made it a trilogy, not because there is a story that needs to go, and it needs to rhyme with episodes 1, 2, 3, with episodes 4, 5, 6, and here we go. So they blew it from the inception. If we actually talk about the movie and get into specifics, there's a lot of subjective problems with the movie. Like, I subjectively wanted to see how Luke would have reacted to Han Solo's death. We didn't get to see that. I subjectively wanted to see Luke Skywalker be cool, use a lightsaber to fight people. We didn't see that. But I can objectively complain about why there's a map to find him that he put inside of R2-D2. And when she gets to him, he throws away Rey's lightsaber. I can even complain about they were standing still at the end of episode 7, circle shot like this. And this movie picks up with her walking to him and handing him the lightsaber. How do we get from about 30 seconds of this and then we get to her walking over like that's just ink? These are movies that continue with each other. Are you not a fan? What's going on over here, Rian Johnson? I can objectively complain about the movie. I can subjectively complain it started off with Poe and everybody over there escaping the rebel base, resistance base. But objectively, what was their plan? We're gonna escape light speed, and yes, we made it. To where? When in Star Wars have we ever just used light speed to go somewhere and not appeared in front of a planet? In some cases, Starkiller Base, you're on the planet already. When do we plan to escape? To just stick it in space. There was nothing, nowhere. You plan coordinates, and you seem like you have a plan. You had the one up on the Empire, on the First Order when you got out, and then we get to where they get to, and then there's the objective complaint of 2 ships doing this. They're fast enough to go far, but they're close enough to keep distance. That's bullshit. If it's fast enough to leave you, then it'll just continue momentum. You couldn't have maintained that speed. And of course, if you're logical, you'd light speed away and then meet the ship in the front. And then you got other ships in the back, and they're surrounded, bust on, bust on, bust on. You're drowning in space. No, actually, that can't happen. Leia can survive in space. So Leia surviving in space, subjectively, you could complain about it. If she's force sensitive and she's this big force, why was she on the other side of that wall at the end of the movie? Guerrilla walkers were coming. There was a whole bunch of people fighting, and Leia was in the back chilling. When she was the best weapon that they had, and they didn't use her. Thankfully, a fake Luke Skywalker appeared, who kissed her on her forehead, who gave her physical Dyson touch. Oh, even Yoda. This is objective complaints. Yoda using his stick to hit Luke. I heard a sound. He hit Luke. You can't do that. Yoda used Force Lightning, an attribute associated with the Sith. The ultimate good guy did this. He used lightning. And B, if you could do that from your death, you are a pussy. You are a piece of crap, Yoda, for when Luke was getting 2-on-1 for not using your Force abilities to influence that battle. Shits on the trilogy. Now we get to Luke Skywalker. I didn't want to get here. Character assassination. He saw a glimmer of hope in his father, the darkest person killing all those younglings. That man, just like this. And that was enough for him to save his dad. Likewise, he sees a little bit of evil in his son, and rather than learn from the experience that he had, which would be the first 3 movies of this trilogy, original trilogy, he wilds out. He goes, I'm gonna go to see my son in the middle of the night. Better bring my lightsaber. And in the slightest moment of shame, it was the greatest moment. Fuck out of here. Luke wouldn't even get close to thinking like that. You gotta fix that. Maybe you can say that that was the time of year he was exploring the dark side with no Master Yoda or Obi-Wan to tell him not to. He dipped into the dark side around that time of his life. And that's when those thoughts were permeating. That's not the word. Permeating in his brain. And that was the same day that he did the thing. That's why he had to turn himself off from the Force. You see how I'm fixing the movie? I'm trying. Oh, another part I would fix is Holdo. Objectively bad. Why would you use lightspeed to go and crash into the enemy ship? When I first saw that, cool. The more I think of it, and other YouTubers have brought to my attention, why hasn't anyone ever done that before? How could this be possible? Now, the retcon, I've said before, the Radis that she used, Radis is manufactured from like this independent source. Remember how in Canto Bight, the X-Wings and the TIE Fighters, the ships from the good guys and the ships from the bad guys came from the same source. This one, this Radis that she used to lightspeed, that was made by somebody else. So that failsafe that the manufacturer for the rest of the Empire and the good guys, that failsafe does not exist in the Radis. You don't actually got to calculate your pathway and then you get the green light to use it. You can just green light anytime. That's how her ship was able to do that, and no other ship has ever done that in the history of Star Wars. Makes sense to me. I hope they use that in the movie. Killing Snoke. 4 villains who they killed. Hux, to be the butt of the joke. It's one thing for Poe to be joking, but for Hux to handle it that way, sir, I believe you're being tooled. Nah, killed him. We got Phasma, who literally died. Snoke, who literally died. And I'll get back to him. And Kylo Ren. You mean your uncle tried to kill you in your sleep and he's supposed to be a Jedi? Fuck that religion. You mean your uncle tried to kill you in your sleep? Look up and you see a guy with a lightsaber with a wild eye. I am bringing that house down on you. Everything you stand for needs to go. What's this dark side they're talking about? I'm going to explore that. He killed Han Solo. Unforgivable. I'm never going to like him. And in the movie, he's about to kill his mom, decides not to kill his mom. I'm conflicted. Not really, I still hate you. But there was no redeeming him. And if you're going to kill the main villain, which was Snoke, in the second part of the trilogy, then you better give me someone to replace him with. Kylo Ren doesn't even kill Luke Skywalker. Luke dies, and I hope he's back alive in episode 9, I hope. But Luke dies by his own doing. In pro wrestling, you're supposed to transfer the heat from a wrestler who's, the big bad guy that everyone hates. Right before his big pay-per-view match, he'll take out somebody of note, making me, when it comes to this final match or the final movie, I'm gonna be interested in seeing him go down because he took out one of my favorite wrestlers. But this is um, John Cena. Cena is no joy. He's gonna come and bring it to him, and I'm so happy that we got John Cena to face this villain who took out the good guy earlier. That's how it's supposed to be done. Always, any storytelling, and we lost the villain. So with Snoke being a strong psychic, objective faults, strong enough to connect Rey and Kylo Ren, but not strong enough to see his own demise. You can't be that psychically strong and get beaten while reading his mind. He was reading Kylo Ren's mind when he died. Fuck out of here. Him not knowing where Luke Skywalker is, still looking for him. If you connected him to Rey, where do you think Rey is? He's on Ahch-To. He's on Ahch-To. That's where Luke Skywalker is. You just connected Rey and Kylo Ren. So he's where Rey is. Did you ever need that map? This movie doesn't hold up. These are objective faults. The premise of the movie is light speed and two ships doing this for the longest time. The side mission with Rose Tico, this is the first time I'm mentioning Rose Tico. And I don't feel like I need to anymore. I can skip that scene. The whole thing. Weapons being sold to good guys and bad guys, that's fine. Now, if I look at positives of the movie, Luke Skywalker teaching Rey that, you feel that? That's the light. What's that? Dark, warmth, cold, balance. You feel that? You can't say that belongs to the Jedi. That's everyone's. I like that part of it very much. The cliffhanger with the kid with the broom. Back when I first saw the movie, I thought it would go somewhere. But seeing Rian Johnson say he gets to write anything he wants, knowing he's not in any of the trailers, the broom kid is one and done. Rey's parents. Now, if you watch episode 7, which I did right before I saw episode 8, Maz Kanata says, "Who's the girl?" The scene cuts away. I'm guessing he answered that question. Many times when Kylo Ren, they were with a girl. What girl? It sounds like he knew who this girl was. It seemed like a lot of people knew who this girl was. Maz Kanata saying that lightsaber, it called to Luke and his father before him, and now it calls to you. I don't ascribe to she is a Skywalker. She is a Solo's kid with Carrie Fisher, with Princess Leia. I'm not saying definitively what it is, but there was an answer to that question. Her parents flying away and leaving her with, I know his name. It's not Ahch-To. Lord Santeca? No. Core? Okay, I don't know the name. But when Onkar Plot, when she was left with that man, we got to see the parents fly away. They're not filthy junk traders. She was about the same age that Kylo Ren would have been when he wilded out and did his thing. In my head, I always thought she was there. Maybe it was the first day in the academy, and that was her day. The same day that Kylo Ren ruined the academy, and so they kept her hidden. They know about this girl. Kylo knows. Han Solo seemed to have known. He asked her about the parents. She is somebody of importance. I'm not calling her a Skywalker or a Kenobi. I'm saying she's someone of importance. It was a bad movie. And there's more I'm forgetting, but let's keep the video short. Thanks for watching my channel. Watch the other videos here that just got recommended. I'll see you when I talk about something that makes me happy.